Let us begin at 7:03.
Stupid.
Yeah, that's close enough. 7:03,
You're supposed to say close enough for government work.
and I know, this is the government of sorts. For Monday, September the 26th, Jamaica Town meeting, called to order. The first order of business is to call for any additions to the agenda published earlier this weekend, and we have 3. First addition to the agenda will be discussion of the Rawsonville Chimney bid that was all business left over from several meetings ago. The second is the,
Cupola.
a
That was a
discussion of,
cupola. It wasn't
what do they call it?
chimney, it was a
Bell
cupola.
No, it's a bell tower. Sorry about that, you're right.
I got the chimney.
Very different word.
Well, you've got the chimney, that's what we got to do. Then Judy will talk a little bit about the Town Hall Preservation Trust, looking at the chimney, and then we're going to add an executive session on a personnel issue, and that'll be added at the end of tonight's meeting. First order of business is to approve the minutes of September 12th and August 17th select board minutes. Going in reverse, I think I handed you all out the minutes from August the 17th. Give everybody a copy of them. The only correction is they were printed saying August 18th, it's really the 17th. But these were strictly the minutes of the meeting that we had when we tabulated the bids for the Castle Hill Bridge project. And it was my error on the day this arrived, back when we were supposed to do it, because it was tucked in behind something else. I wish to correct that by entertaining a motion that we accept the minutes of August 17th as changed.
So moved then.
Second.
Gary, any other discussion? Sure.
The August 17th, what meeting was it?
The one that's-
This
this
one
one?
here.
I just gave you a copy.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I just thought
Yeah,
that
me
was
too.
a summary
It
sheet.
didn't
Yeah.
look like.
Well, that's all.
Oh, those are minutes.
Basically the minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a very
The same for.
efficient meeting. We started at 4:05, ended at 4:50.
Okay.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes of August 17th, 2016 are approved and accepted. The next order of business is the minutes of, wait a minute, the minutes of,
26. Oh, that's today's date.
September the 12th. Minutes of September the 12th meeting. Any additions, corrections, or deletions? So those minutes of the 12th. I think you all have a copy of them. I think I saw them circulating. I have one. If you go down to the paragraph starting with updated on the progress of the Castle Hill Road Bridge project, I would like to change the word done in the first sentence to started. Because I think Lou has done a tremendous amount to get this started, but it ain't done yet, Lou. So let's change it from done to started. Otherwise, I continue my appreciation for the effort and energy that you have spent on this project. Any other observations, corrections, deletions?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor of approving minutes of the 12th as corrected, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. Okay. The next item of business, when Karen Ameden, where'd her letter go? Letter. She got it correct, I got it wrong. When Karen sent us an email offering to accept the position of cemetery sexton, she wrote cemetery sexton positions. I read cemetery sexton position, and we appointed her to one. There were 3. So we would like to add the positions of the sexton for the West Jamaica Cemetery and the Pikes Falls Cemetery to Karen's tasks. So I would entertain a motion to do that.
I make a motion that we appoint Karen for the other 2, West Jamaica and Pikes Falls Cemetery,
And do I have a
to
second?
the addition of South Hill.
Yes, to add to the other, yes. Do I have a second?
I will second
Do
it.
I have a second? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? Hearing that, this is accepted, and once again, thank you, Karen, for your service and your volunteerism. Next item. We have a discussion and decision regarding the TROC. TROC stands for Two Rivers Ottaquechee Regional Commission. Anyhow, this is the agency that has been basically honchoing the money coming from the state to towns for a variety of different kinds of things. They were the ones, for example, who paid for the Water Street. When the feds couldn't do it, they arranged it for the state. So they've been working with us really, really well for the last 5 years. Anyway, we have a sub-grant agreement regarding the cleanup of 1990 Pikes Falls Road, and Alexa, you said that you can speak to
I
that?
will contact the company that, I don't know the name of it right now, I forgot. The asbestos, they test and come for asbestos before we can remove it. We cannot remove that property or anything on it until there's been asbestos testing on it. It's the same company that did Water Street, and so I will contact him, I will call him tomorrow.
Good. Thank you very much for clarification. This is a grant we're getting from TROC to clean up the house on 1990 Pikes Falls Road is the one that's immediately over the bridge on the right-hand side that was destroyed during Irene, and then we're going to finally get that cleaned up at within the grant. We're not going to have to pay much at all, so it's going to be a grant from the state. Very good. And the next, I got a letter from the listers regarding errors and omissions from the 2016 bill grand list. And we need to approve that.
Before you go on, I think you skipped one at the very beginning.
Did I? Which one?
The town hall.
Well, I'm going to add that. Those are the ones I added.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be added too. They're going to be like
Okay,
11 and point.
okay, sorry.
So I have a list of the errors and omissions, and they're submitting this following correction to the list with the select board approval. We just need to approve those. I will get everybody a copy of these things, and you'll have them, but there's 8 errors and omissions from the grand list that we need to put on there. I'll just give you a heads up on that, and then I think that it's pretty easy.
We're going to vote on that next meeting?
Yeah, I don't think there's a big rush on it. These are all pretty standard things. The incorrect acreage, for example, or value. So I'll get this thing copied and make sure everybody gets a copy of it, and we'll have it available for the next meeting. Okay, the next item is the Cardinal Logistics overweight permit. We actually did get that, by the way. The first time we were missing some pieces of information and a check. It has now been here, we now have it. We found out that this Cardinal Logistics Management Corporation has a very long list of their vehicles, but it's just a general hauling.
Right.
They do hauling of just about everything.
Right.
So it sounds like it's perfectly legitimate, and we have the check, and so I would entertain a motion that the road commissioner approve it.
Sign.
Sign it. We'll approve it if we have the motion to do so.
I'll move.
I have a first, I have a motion,
Second.
and a second. Any
With the
further
usual
discussion?
restrictions, I presume?
Yes, with the usual restrictions.
Yes, with the usual restrictions. Adding that to the motion, then we will approve it with the usual restrictions. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's carried, and you can just get that and mail it off to them. She knows what's going on better than I. Now, next thing we have is the update on the Castle Hill Bridge project, which we're all excited about. Lou, please.
Well, when we last met, we were just starting the project that day, as I recall, and to this date, some very good progress has been made. At the end of the first week, the footings for the abutments were poured, and that required a tremendous amount of ditch work inside the stream. I guess there was unexpected ledge that was found. They had to bring in this huge crane, or this huge excavator with a machine that bangs out the ledge. And they removed an awful lot of ledge. When that process was over, those footings are huge. I was really surprised at how big those footings are for such a small bridge. But then the next week they poured the abutments, so the abutments are now in place. They're curing. They take about a week or so to cure. On Thursday or Friday, not sure which day, they will be bringing in the deck for the bridge. We've asked all the utility companies to remove some power lines and cable lines so that a crane can be brought in to lift up that deck. The deck comes in two pieces. The deck is 18 feet wide. They come in two 9-foot wide sections. So each one of those two 9-foot wide sections will be lowered in place with the crane. I guess there's some kind of tension that gets brought. They bring the tension in to keep those two sections together, and all that should be done on either Thursday or Friday of this week. They tell me that the guardrails will probably go in on Monday, and somewhere soon thereafter the bridge will be open to the public. So they estimated 4 weeks. They'll be done probably in about 3.5 weeks. So they will have beat their 3-week estimate.
Even with the extra 3 days pounding ledge.
Yes, and they were actually set back by one big day of rain. If you recall, we had that weekend of rain, and they came in that Monday, and it was just drenched. It took them a day to pump it out, and then the cement company couldn't pour the abutments the day they wanted them. They had to wait an extra day. So, other than those 2 days, things have gone very much according to schedule.
Excellent, very good. While we're on the topic of road kinds of stuff, we have road foreman Keith. Is there anything you'd like to share with us while we got you on the stand here?
We're pretty much doing the same thing as when we met last. It's just ditching, and we're gonna start spot scraping again before the leaves fall. The one problem we're having is if anybody knows anyone who wants fill, we're starting to run out of places to dump fill. So I ask around as we do it, but I guess if anyone hears that we're ditching on their road or a road nearby and they want fill, to come see us or call the garage or call me at home, because it keeps the process moving if we don't have to truck it. Like if you're in East Jamaica and you have to bring it to the dump, it's really like a half an hour. By the time this way, if you can just go 5 minutes away, get rid of it, and you can be back at it. But that's a problem we are running into.
A nice problem to have now that we're doing a lot of ditching.
Yeah. We've just, the turnarounds that we were building bigger, like at the end of roads, they're about as big as we can make them, really. We're starting to get, I don't want to get out of the right of way too far.
Speaking of ditching, Keith and his crew, Keith and Richard, ditched Howe Farm Road, which is of course the road that I live on. And I've always wondered whether the process that they're going through is good or not. And we happen to have a gentleman from V-Trans here looking at another project, which I'll mention in a minute. But I asked him to look at Howe Farm Road and give me his opinion of how well it was done, because it was a project that had been done and finished. And he was pretty complimentary. He recommended a couple of things that we could do that might make it a little bit better, a little bit deeper ditches, which is kind of surprising because I thought the ditches were kind of deep. But he recommended a little bit deeper ditching. But basically he gave good marks to the work that they had done, so I thought I'd mention that to you.
We knew you were doing it. We had faith.
And while we're on the same topic of ditching, Andy had somebody who made a suggestion to us that we wanted to pass along to you. We had put that on as an agenda item, but we might as well bring it up now.
Well, I was going to pass it along to Lou. I did, actually, but I was at the transfer station the other morning and a guy asked me to take a ride with him on South Hill and just pointed out some things to me. I took some pictures, if you'd like to look at them, about why there's ditching lacking, and I told him, our guy down,
Yeah.
and he had some other comments about some work that had been done, I'd be glad to
Mhm.
share with you.
Yeah.
If you-
It's always good to get a heads up, but once we get the new excavator, I think they've been working as hard as they can to try to get to different ditching projects. And certainly South Hill Road is an important one of our roads.
It needs to be ditched out, but we didn't really go to our main roads first because we didn't really have like a water wash problem.
Right,
So we started on the roads that we were always fixing. There's not a real order to it, but
right.
that's the
Well,
reason we did it that
I
way.
think he just happened to catch a select board member at the transfer station while he was talking to the attendant about that.
Mhm.
And I just ended up taking, the guy was nice enough about it, and I just said I'd pass it along.
Mhm.
About it, really.
See, this is good about these opportunities for you to explain that to all of us, so that people who have questions understand that you're prioritizing when the problems are worse before you get to the more trafficked areas.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
We're also meeting sometime this week to look at the transfer station in terms of
Oh, yeah.
shifting things along so we can put the new building in.
When you set a time for that, let me know, and I'd like to be there too.
Okay, yeah, well, I was going to give them a call, so.
Okay.
Very good. Do you have anything else you want to share with us?
No.
Okay.
Okay, speaking of roads, though, before he leaves, we did, this gentleman from V-Trans spent some time with Keith and I up on
West
Up-
Wyndham Road.
West Wyndham Road, up by Cobb Brook. Remember we had that issue with, we were putting the material down, so he gave us some good suggestions. They're gonna help us apply for a grant to get some of that work done. And they're also gonna, we were looking at Turkey Mountain Road. Remember the issue that the planning commission brought to us a long time ago about Turkey Mountain Road? They're gonna see if they can get the, what's it called, AmeriCorps? Is it the
Turkey
group?
Mountain Road?
Yeah, the extension of Turkey Mountain Road, that,
Oh, the trail.
the trail,
Yeah,
Trail.
the youth court.
the youth corps. Get the youth corps to do some ditching on that road to try to keep the erosion, improve the erosion issue. So, that ended up being a real good meeting, and,
Is that the beyond?
Yeah, it's where Turkey Mountain
Child's
Road
used to be.
intersects with West Wyndham Road.
Oh,
that was where they were saying some gravel or material maybe getting into the brook.
mhm.
And that particular brook is our only class, was it Class A brook?
I don't think it is now, I think it's still a B.
Oh, I thought it was a Class A brook.
I think we only have one, which is Combrook.
That's what I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking about Turkey Mountain.
No, the Turkey Mountain Road where it intersects with West Wyndham Road
Right,
with the silt getting down into Cobb Brook.
right, and Combrook is an A.
Class A stream, right. So this will hopefully help that issue out.
Thank you. Any other road-related things we need to know about? We're all set? Alrighty. Any questions for Keith? All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Moving on to the next one.
Thanks, Keith.
We were looking at an update on the transfer station situation, and Judy?
Okay. Things are going really quite well. I'm pleased to say with our substitute transfer station, people are really cooperating and helping us out by, not giving us a bad time, basically. I'll give you an example. Today, one of the bins, one of the big containers, we've had a problem closing the back door on it, and there was no way, it was meshing. And about 10 or 5 tonight, somebody came along, and everything was coming out the back, and he said, "Oh, I think I can help you do that." So he goes out and he gets a good 2x4 and uses that as a lever and gets the door closed, which was just a godsend because everything was just falling out. And that was just somebody who was coming to bring their garbage. So the cooperation has been really, really great. And as far as transfer station opening, we really will let everybody know when it's
As it
going to
develops.
happen.
Very good, thank you very much.
I have a question, if I may.
Go ahead.
I'm curious, have we been filling up those 2 dumpsters every week?
Oh, right to, as a matter of fact, both of them are really filled. And whether it is the, well, Mark can even attest to that because that was filled when you were there. The stuff is falling out and we have to shove it back in, so we're doing really well.
Good.
And seeing what the quantity is, because when we have the compactor, we really don't see
Right.
how much we're really getting because we squish it all back in on the garbage.
Alrighty, anything else? We'll go on to the next item. Several months ago, I don't remember when it was, some time back, the Pat Muleman asked us for some help, asked the town for some help in replacing the bell tower at the Rawsonville School. And she had a bid and she requested that we consider that. We asked her for 2 more bids. They have arrived. One bid was around $2,500, another one was for around $2,900, and the first one was $800. And so I'm thinking that I would entertain a motion that we accept the $800 bid and give Pat direction to go ahead with the project on the bell tower for the Rawsonville Schoolhouse.
Who's the contractor?
The Iron Horse is the one who had $800.
This in Londonderry?
Let me find it, I've got his paperwork right here.
Do you have experience with that company?
What's that?
Do we have experience with that company?
I don't, but I know they've certainly done a lot of work around here. You see,
I've never heard of them. that's
Yeah.
why I was
Oh,
curious.
yeah,
They've been around for a long time.
yeah, they're pretty active in the area.
I'm just curious, why the humongous difference?
And I asked her, and, because I thought perhaps they were talking about the entire roof and not just the bell tower thing, and she got it confirmed that it was the entire roof. I mean, it was not the entire roof,
Yeah, we just,
it was, and we have the email trail here. They said, no, it was just for the thing, it was like nearly $3,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is there
But-
anything that they were gonna do differently than what the
Not
Iron
that I
Horse?
can see.
It looks like the
It
same.
looks, yeah, it's a
Same what?
standing seam
Same
roof,
material they're gonna use.
drip
and
edge,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
You compare them, they're the materials and sounds like the same thing.
Are they willing to stand by it for a year or 2 or 3?
Well, we've got it written. He said the proposal may be withdrawn by us if not accepted within 30 days. So it's been a while, so we'll have to wait and see if they'll still stick to it.
No, I meant stand by their work. In other words,
Oh, they can stand by the proposal.
if at the end of the work it still
No,
leaks.
like a warranty.
I hear that, yeah, I'm looking up here. Let's see, all of the above work we performed in a professional manner, all components, the standing seam roofs are American made. The metal carries a 35-year product warranty and a 5-year installation and water tightness guarantee. This includes any damage or leakage due to ice damming. Any additional repairs are figured at time and material cost.
So it sounds like there is a warranty.
Yeah, 5 years on installation and water tightness, and 35 on the material. Very comparable bids, except the dollar difference. And I know Pat's been working on this for a long time, so I would entertain a motion that we tell her to move on, get started.
I'll make a motion that we accept the $800 bid from Iron Horse.
Second.
Is
Any
that what
further?
it's called, Iron Horse?
Yeah, it's called Iron Horse Roofing of Londonderry.
Isn't it Rapco or something like that?
Rapco.
On the top, see it? It's
Yeah, Rapco Inc.
It's that top part, and then that's
Yeah, and
that's
just
the rail,
Iron.
that's the.
Yeah. I have a second, any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none? I will get in touch with Pat tomorrow and ask her to proceed.
Thank
Excuse me,
Pat.
with-
Thank Pat for us for.
Yes, she's done a lot of work on that. Okay, I'll get that, I'll talk to her tomorrow. The next item is something that popped up suddenly. The Town Hall Preservation Trust. You can speak to that if you would, please?
Yes, I met with Meg Campbell, who is in charge of going around and inspecting all of the trust areas. And I met her on the 15th of September, Thursday. And she walked the grounds and she came inside and looked around and oohed and awed, which was very appropriate. And I told her about the programs that we're having and how the town hall is being used considerably more, and very pleased about that. And then she did say, and I think it's something that we have to look into, that in her walking around the building, she noticed that the chimney has some problems, and that she would really like to see something happen with that. So I'm passing that on.
So probably we need to, sometime in the future, have somebody who knows what they're doing taking a look at that. We can set that up. I don't think we need to do too much more with the select board, but we can. I think that falls on the select board because there's no
That's our
committee to do
building,
that.
right.
So,
We're responsible for the maintenance of that building.
yeah, so we'll, get a hold of roofers.
Or,
Just talk to them.
usually chimney people are specialists.
Chimney
Right,
people.
right.
Funny, we happen to be talking to someone. So anyhow, we'll take a look at that and get that. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Sure.
It doesn't require any motions at this stage. We will get some information and we'll have more for the next meeting. All righty, thank you very much. Time for public concerns. We have a couple of publics. Do you have anything for us today?
The last time I was here, you asked me to create a petition, which I haven't done. But I did want to let you know that I was driving around the Pratt Bridge, where Cole Pond Road separates and forks, and Pratt Bridge, which has fewer houses and sees fewer traffic, is at 25 miles per hour.
Is that according to our ordinance, or is that just somebody who threw up a sign?
It's news to me. I don't know what that to look into it.
It's a real speed limit sign, if that, I mean, it's not like a makeshift.
Yeah, well, you could buy those, people could buy those.
Well, we can take a look at it and be aware though that that road doesn't connect. I remember correctly, I've only been on it like once or twice, but the thing with Goodyeville, it connects two towns.
Right.
I don't know that Pratt Bridge does.
No,
It's
it
just
certainly
a
doesn't.
neighborhood.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just, I just wanted to let you know that
Sure.
it's there and it sees fewer, much less traffic and has fewer homes on it, so.
I think we can take a look at it, but my guess is the distinction is going to be through thoroughfare from one town to another versus a local and neighborhood.
Right, I understand, I just,
Okay,
bring
that's
it to
something-
your attention.
We can look into that. Yeah. All right, thanks for bringing that to us. Anything else? No? Okay. We did not have a meeting scheduled for the 10th of October due to the 3-day holiday. So our next scheduled meeting will be the 20... Well, we have a meeting on the 17th.
That's a special.
That's a special meeting. The next scheduled meeting is what's that, the
24.
The 24th will be the next scheduled select board meeting, regular select board meeting. We will have a special meeting on the 17th, focusing on 2 issues only.
There are wood and solid waste district issues, one of which is the solar project that we've got going in the district. We'll be prepared to give you a presentation at that time for your consideration. The idea is to be able to save some town money by participating in a net metering solar project. The other one is just to discuss the budget and how it relates to our participation in the district. So,
And this meeting is occurring on the 17th because we cannot have it prior to that because Wyndham hasn't made a decision on its own budget yet.
but this budget will be, this draft budget will be voted on the 13th of October. That's when the draft budget is.
So
What
that's-
you're talking about is the September. That's a budget meeting, correct?
So that's why this is timed around the 17th, the way it is. All right, we've got the agenda covered. I would entertain a motion for executive session, if there is one.
I make a motion, I move, and so, that we go into executive session for personnel.
Have a second?
Second.
Is there a second? Any further discussion? We are adjourned at 7:31 for, adjourned, adjourning?
No.
We're going to pause for an executive session. We will be back after the session. we are dissolved at
8:20.
8:22.
Okay.
And back onto the select board meeting of September the 26th. We are reopening it at 8:23. We discussed the personnel issue. It is being resolved. And I would entertain a motion.
I move that we adjourn.
Second. All in favor? And first, any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It carries. We are adjourned at 8:24.